King Charles's dissatisfaction with his aide's comments that could threaten his beloved Commonwealth. Comments made by a senior aide to King Charles sparked a crisis at Buckingham Palace after Dr. Nathan Ross, Assistant Private Secretary to the King, indicated His Majesty would not intervene if Australia decided to remove him as head of state. Insiders told Express.co.uk the timing of these comments could not have come at a worse time for King Charles as he prepares for an important visit to Australia this week. In a letter to the Australian Republic Movement, ARM, which has written to Buckingham Palace requesting a meeting with the King during his upcoming historic royal tour, Dr. Ross emphasized the deep love and affection the King has for Australia which could one day be fulfilled. Become a republic. Dr. Ross stated, "Please be assured that your views on this matter are noted with the utmost care." He added, "His Majesty, as a constitutional monarch, acts on the advice of his ministers, so whether or not Australia becomes a republic is for the Australian public to decide." He also praised ARM's precision in writing, describing their correspondence as highly appreciated. However, sources have revealed to Express.co.uk that although King Charles would respect the outcome of any potential referendum, he remains deeply attached to the Commonwealth and does not want to lose Australia or New Zealand. An insider said, "The contents of the letter now revealed could not have come at a worse time." Dr. Ross was simply explaining the referendum process and was not reflecting the King's personal views and feelings about Australia. His Majesty is very fond of the Commonwealth, Australia, and New Zealand. He has great affection and respect for the people of all Commonwealth countries. In its original letter to Buckingham Palace, ARM itself acknowledged the royal family's important contribution, noting that many Australians still respect the British monarchy and hope the two countries remain the closest of friends and allies. However, the ARM insisted it was time for Australia to stand on an equal footing with other nations, and claimed there was growing support for republicanism. The last referendum on the issue, held in 1999, resulted in nearly 55% of Australians voting against the removal of the British monarch as head of state. In January, the Australian government announced that any new plans to hold a referendum had been put on hold indefinitely, with ministers stating it was not a priority. Although King Charles's sentiments do not reflect a change in official policy, the fact that they come on the eve of a major royal tour indicates a shift in the maturity of the discussion. The deep and long-standing ties between the royal family and Australia mean that any move towards republicanism is likely to be met with disappointment in royal circles. However, another source said, His Majesty supports all areas in deciding what is constitutionally right for them. When King Charles arrives in Australia on Friday, accompanied by Queen Camilla for a 6-day state visit, it will be his first visit as monarch. This will also be the first time a British monarch has visited the country's ruler. The only other reigning monarch to have visited in recent history was the late Queen Elizabeth II, who remains hugely popular in Australia. Currently, 14 countries around the world retain the British monarch as head of state. The latest country to break ties was Barbados, which became a republic in 2021. Despite this, Barbados remains an important member of the Commonwealth and continues to enjoy warm relations with the United Kingdom. Jamaica has also indicated its desire to gain independence, with plans to hold a referendum on the issue later this year. Other countries may follow suit, although countries such as Australia, New Zealand, and Canada are seen as less likely to sever ties with the monarchy. Buckingham Palace has been contacted for comment.